In this video, I'm going to show you how to elegantly discover any Raspberry Pis that are attached to your local network. You see, we type the word map and get a list of IP addresses. Those are the 4 Raspberry Pis that are currently connected. I'm now going to plug in a 5th Raspberry Pi, and I want to know what the IP address is so I can SSH into it. I give that device a moment to attach, and then I rerun the command. There's the new device. It's at .14. I can SSH into it now. I'm going to walk you through the 3 steps needed to get the result you just saw. The scripts that are developed here are available for download at github.com/ohioiot/nmap. First thing we want to do is install Nmap. We're on a Windows computer. This process might differ for other operating systems. What's nice about this installation is that the executable is automatically written into the path variable. So all we have to do is open a new window and we can start using the command. If we run the command, we see a ton of options. We're going to want the SN option. This is going to do a ping scan for the entire network. Type ipconfig and look at our local connection. We need the first 3 pieces to the IP address, the 192.168.1. We write that into our command as such, and we get this following list. You can see a bunch of Raspberry Pis have shown up. The IP address shows up a couple lines before the actual name of the device. I want to put this command into a scripts folder. This is a folder where I have a bunch of commands I can type at the command line. This folder is also added to my Windows path variables, so I can access these commands from any working directory I'm in. Let's add a file called map. This works a little different than Linux. We don't have to call it .sh. We don't have to put bin bash at the top. However, I like to do that just in case I copy this file over to a Linux computer. Now we can just type map and get that same output. There again are our Raspberry Pis. This is great, but I'm looking at this list quite often looking for new devices that are attached, and it gets a little bit difficult to read. I'm going to use JavaScript to clean up that output into something that's easier to see. So next thing we want to do is get a NodeJS script to parse our Nmap. In that same scripts directory, I'm going to add a JavaScript file, map.js. We're going to use the child process module. It's a native NodeJS module, so you don't have to bring in any dependencies. The docs show us initiating our exec function like this. I like to call this function write, so I'm going to rearrange as you see here. So what's this going to do? You can see on the left, if we type pwd, we get our present working directory. But how can we use JavaScript to call that same command? I'm going to write the command, and then this function is going to return to us an error, a standard out, and a standard error. This is how I like to lay out my callback just to better understand what this function is doing. It gives us those 3 results. How are we supposed to use them? And there you see the standard out mimics what we got when we typed the command directly. There are no errors, and so there's nothing shown in standard error. But what happens if we ask for a command that errors out? There are no files called X, so we can't copy X to Y. This should give us an error. Okay, we now have an error on top. There's nothing in standard out, and standard error is the message that was provided in the error on top. So I like to rearrange my function like this. If we get an error, log the standard error so we can see what went wrong. Otherwise, just show us the result. That's how we use JavaScript to issue a command, but we don't want this command. We want what we created in the previous section. We've got a little script that maps our network and finds our Raspberry Pis. So we're using JavaScript to call that same nmap command we called before. We get the same result, but you'll notice something was slightly different. Previously at the top, it would say starting, and then it would wait to do its work before giving us the result. When you issue a command in JavaScript, it issues that command in another window in the background, and it's not until the entire command is complete that it then returns the standard out. That's why you saw that gap in time before the app even responded. I'm going to put a little message at the top so people know the work has started. Nmap, 잠깐만요. And there's that messy output. So we can see our Raspberry Pis, but this is too much to look at, especially when you're trying to find a new IP address you hadn't seen before. So let's start parsing this. First of all, what is the type of the data we're sent? It's a string. Okay, well, We're getting several lines in this string, so there's probably some new line characters. Let's parse those out. When we split on the /n, we get an array of strings. You notice we still have the /r in there, so maybe we should parse out /r/n. Now we have a clean list of strings. Let's find the lines that have raspberry in them. I want to show the line number that has raspberry, but I forgot to include up top index. The for each function will give us the number that corresponds with the line we're looking at. Okay, 4 Raspberry Pis showing up in line 27, 30, 33, and 36. That makes sense. You can see above they're 3 lines apart. So if the Raspberry Pi there is in line 30, what we actually care about is the IP address, which is in 30 minus 2 equals 28. So we want to see index minus 2. Those are the lines we're actually interested in. The IP address starts at the 21st character, so I'm going to slice on that and let's see the result. Let's add a little space here. And then here you have the output that we saw at the demonstration at the beginning of the video. Last thing we're going to do is write a script to call that NodeJS script. If you type a command and it happens to be in your scripts folder and your scripts folder is in the Windows path, then you can type that command anywhere and it will work. But if you type node and type a file name, it's not going to look in the scripts folder for that file name. So we would have to actually write the actual absolute path to that file. Instead of doing that each time, let's make map call the Node.js app. That way we can make the thing happen anywhere in the command line with just the 3-letter command. So now we can type map and get our output. And then I'm going to go back to the original task, which is attaching another Raspberry Pi, and let's see how easily we can find it in this list. We run the command again, we can see quite easily that the Raspberry Pi is now at .14. That's it. These 2 commands, map and map.js, are going to be available at the GitHub site, ohioiot/nmap. If you found this information helpful, of course you can help me out by subscribing to this channel. Happy coding and see you soon.